Kiatphontip Gym is started, I think originally, it must be about at least 20 years ago now. My brother-in-law, it started in the south of Thailand, a place called Patalung, which is where my wife's family's from. And my wife's father started the gym originally, and her younger brother was one of the main fighters, Pop Kiatphontip. He was ranked at Ratchaman Stadium #1, fought high level, fought on TV in the main event on one Songchai Promotions. Started down in the south in Patalung, and then maybe about 11, 12 years ago, we decided to open a gym here in Bangkok, and we built this place. So it's been going about, I think, roughly 12 years now in this location. In terms of champions, Kiatphontip Gym, I mean, we've had a very good reputation for producing very successful fighters. Several ranked very highly in the main stadiums in Bangkok, ranked #1 at several different weights. We had Samsamut Gip Chong Kao. He came here, originally he was from another gym. He came here and started fighting for us, and he won the Thailand title and the Ratchaman title for us. We had Saming Pride Kiatphontip won a tournament at Omnai Stadium, Tamjai tournament. We had Peteng Kiatphontip, he won the WMC, the World Muay Thai Council mini flyweight world title. He won that at Lumpini Stadium, beating a very, very strong fighter. He also went on to win the WBC world title, but he won that in Osaka, Japan. We took him over to Japan to fight. We also had Dengren Kiatphontip, who won, there was a smaller stadium that used to be on a Saturday afternoon at fights called Thailand TV Champion. So we've had a few champions, a lot of fighters ranked very high as well. Talking about foreign champions, we had 2 female WPMF world champions. Had Soishi, so I forget her surname now. Soishi from Hong Kong. She's half Chinese, half Italian. She won a WPMF women's world title, and also we had Alexis Rufus from England, who won a WPMF women's world title here representing Kiatphontip. What makes a good fighter? Predominantly though, the most important thing, I mean, it's kind of a cliche, I don't know if it's the right word to use, but it's heart. Maybe mental strength, character. That's the most important thing. If you don't have that, if the fight doesn't have that heart and that ability to turn it on when things get tough in the ring, when things are going bad, if they can't fight through that and they give up very easily, then you're going to have a hard time developing them, no matter what skill set they've got. You know, they could be technically the best fighter the world's ever seen, but if they've got no heart, then they're only going to get to a certain level. After that, discipline, very, very important. You know, you've got to be prepared to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and do the runs when it matters, do the training all the time when it matters. Not, oh, I feel a bit tired today, I'll have a day in bed. Then you're never going to make it that way. After that, one very, very important attribute that some fighters don't have, and you often find those fighters not get very as far as they could do, I should say. They won't get as far as they should do, but they'll blame it on something else, and that is you've got to be prepared to listen to your trainer. You're not above your trainers. They're the ones that can see what you should be doing, and you know, some fighters they'll get to the point where they think they know more than the trainers, or they don't need to listen, or they can do what they think is best, and that's never a good thing. You've got to listen to the trainers. That's what they're there for. They've been there, they've done it. They know when you should be cutting weight in a certain way, or when you should be training that little bit harder, or training in what way. They know what you should be doing to win a fight. You know, during a fight, they can see, stood outside the ring, they can see so much better what's going on in the fight, and also mistakes that your opponent could be making that the fighter themselves won't always notice. And if they don't listen and take that advice, then they're going to struggle. So what should you expect coming to train in Thailand? Obviously it depends on where you're coming from in the world, but one of the hardest things for a lot of people to adjust to is the heat. It can be very, very hot depending on what time of year. March, April in particular can be very, very intense. It can get up to like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That can be very grueling. So, you know, that's something you need to prepare for. Obviously you need to drink a lot of water when you're here training, look after yourself. If you can, don't come out here out of shape and think, oh, I'll get in shape while I'm there, because then you're going to waste a bit of time. You know, try and prepare before you come. I always used to do it myself. I'll be alright once I get out there, and then like 2 or 3 days into the trip, you're dead, you're exhausted, you're burnt out. And whereas if you just did that little bit more preparation at home, a lot of cardio, road work, conditioning, got yourself in decent shape, then you're more prepared to hit the ground running and get more out of the trip. Take everything very lightly, don't take it all too seriously, just be prepared to come out and have fun and enjoy the training. Don't expect to become, you know, Olympic champion overnight. It takes a lot of time and a lot of the whole Muay Thai philosophy, and the reason the Thais are so good is repetition, so it just becomes muscle memory. So you know, you're not going to come out here and boom, first day they're going to show you how to do Sanchez style cartwheel kick, for example, and next thing you know, you're going to be throwing cartwheel kicks and catching your opponent and knocking them out. That's probably not going to happen. You know, just keep your expectations low and just be prepared to work hard, but most importantly, have fun.
My name is Sam Gough. I'm from England. I fight out of Kiatphontip Gym in Bangkok. I've had 49 fights now and fought mainly in Thailand, but I fought back in the UK and I fought Australia and New Zealand as well. I first came to Kiatphontip Gym when I was 18 because I wanted to get away from home kind of thing. And my trainer back in England, Jesse Saunders from Kiatphontip Muay, he came to train at Kiatphontip when it first opened, I believe. Yeah, so I thought this would be a good place for me to come when I first came for 5 months, I think it was. I wasn't that into fighting when I first came here. It was just more the getaway sort of bit, but after training here for 5 months, all I wanted to do was keep fighting. And I really enjoyed the training here as well, sort of how they push you and the feel around the gym as well. Everyone's included, there's no sort of, they treat everyone the same. It's not sort of like, oh, this guy's better than this guy, we'll take care of him more than someone else. I'd say my favourite part of training is definitely pad work. I really enjoy sort of working with, well, my trainer's called Champ. We sort of work different things, and depending on who I'm fighting, or if I've got an injury, we can work around different bits and help develop my style. Whereas my least favourite part is when doing sparring techniques. So we'll do sort of a certain technique, we'll do it for maybe 5 minutes, sort of maybe 1-2 catch, someone kicks back, etc. I'll get it for a little while and tend to lose focus quite a bit, sort of after a couple of goes. I struggle to keep my focus in that bit, which is something that I probably need to work on quite a bit. So, daily routine at the gym, I set my alarm for 5:15, I think it is. And I set my alarm a bit away from my bed, so it makes me have to get up and put my feet on the floor. And I sit there sort of contemplating life, thinking, am I doing the right thing? But I try and think of it like like you would if you have an office job back home. Whereas like, there's no choice, do I run today or do I not run today? It's sort of 5:15 because I get up and run. That's the way it works. And then I run about, I think it's 12-13 kilometres. I'm not really sure the distance, I haven't actually measured it, but I'm just sort of, the people have told me some different lengths of it. In some people say 12, 14, I'm not too sure, I just run it. And I get back and sort the ice and water out for everyone, sort of do the bucket. Stretch off a little bit, wrap my hands, and then training starts about 7:15. Then get into training, do sort of a few bag rounds, a few pad rounds maybe, and then sometimes clinching, drills and some weights. That's usually the morning session. It's a bit more, not as intense as the afternoon session. After training, then obviously have a shower and then have breakfast and then go to sleep for probably about 1.5 hours sleep. I try and do that every day. And usually have lunch about 1 and try and relax the afternoon. It gets to 3 o'clock. and I make sure I'm out on the mats a few minutes before, just sort of stretch off a little bit. Then 3 o'clock we start skipping. Then we skip for about 25 minutes, half an hour. Then obviously start getting into the pad rounds, bag rounds, a bit more sparring, clinching. Same sort of thing as the morning, but the intensity is a bit more up there and a bit more longer. Maybe we'll do some sprints as well. Usually, depending if I'm fighting, sort of go on to about 5:30, 6. And obviously if it's a big fight and sort of hard training, I mean I finished when it's been dark at 6:37 sometimes. I mean the only one left there on the mats. It's hard sometimes. You got to push it when you're fighting. Have dinner about 7 o'clock, 6:37 really. Then I always try and sleep about, sort of turn my light off about 9, get into bed get ready for bed about 9:30 and try and sleep a bit early just because it's a long day, I'm usually tired by that point. And that sort of goes on 6 days a week, and then we have Sundays off for rest and recovery. But it's hard. You've got to have that mental strength, sort of, just sort of not give up. You've got to. I mean, it's definitely been built in me, sort of over the course of the years I've been out here, sort of being pushed to the point where you think you're gonna break, but you keep going. You realise you can keep going.